araw mga kababayan, narito ang latest update about sa purposive behaviorism by Toulmin. Edward J. Toulmin was an American psychologist. He was born on April 14, 1886 and passed away on November 19, 1959 at the age of 73. Toulmin is well known for his contribution to understanding animal behavior and learning, particularly through his concept of purposive behaviorism, also known as sign learning theory. Toulmin's purposive behaviorism served as an important link between traditional behaviorism and cognitive theory. According to Toulmin, animals and humans are learned by forming mental representation of their environment, a process he referred to as a cognition. One of the key aspects of Toulmin's purposive behaviorism is his focus on the relationships between stimuli, not just stimulus-response connections. Toulmin argued that reinforcement is not necessary for learning to occur. Instead, animals learn by associating new signs with already meaningful stimuli. Toulmin's theory, also known by several names including sign significance theory, expectancy theory, purposive behaviorism, and simple sign theory. His ideas have provided a new perspective on understanding learning and behavior, bridging behaviorism and cognitive psychology. At para sa karagdagang mga informasyon, pakinggan natin si Mr. Armando Bautista. Mr. Armando Bautista, magandang umaga.
Magandang araw din sa iyo, JB. Narito ang karagdagang impormasyon patungkol sa key concept ni Toulmin. First, the goal-directedness, also known as a purposive behaviorism, suggests that learning is always purposive and goal-directed. It moves beyond simple stimulus-response learning as in behaviorism and emphasizes the cognitive aspect of learning. Toulmin argued that organisms don't simply react to stimuli. Instead, they actively engage in behaviors to achieve specific goals. Examples: in problem solving, a student solving a mathematical problem isn't simply responding to the problem stimuli. They are actively using their knowledge and the strategies to achieve the goal of finding the solution. They may break the problem into smaller parts, apply relevant formulas, and check their work. All goal-directed actions guided by their understanding of the problem and their desire to find the correct answer. This example showcasing the organism behavior is not just a series of reactions to stimuli, but a proactive effort to achieve a desired outcome. Second, the Toulmin's cognitive maps are internal representation of the spatial environment. These mental models allow organisms to navigate plan, routes, and solve problems efficiently, even in novel situations. One is the classic examples include a rat's learning mazes, demonstrating latent learning, humans navigating cities, and the spatial memory in familiar environments. The key is that maps are not simple learned sequences of actions. They are rich representation of the environment, structures, and relationship between locations. The third one is the latent learning. Is a type of learning that occurs without any immediate reinforcement. The learning is not outwardly manifested until a later time, when there is an incentive to demonstrate it. The knowledge is acquired and stored, but it remains hidden latent until needed. This contrasts with the other types of learning where the learning is immediately apparent through observable behavioral changes. One of the examples of this is Toulmin maze experiments. Rats were allowed to explore a maze for several days without receiving any rewards at the end. When a food reward was finally introduced, these rats learned to navigate the maze to the food much faster than rats who had only been trained with food rewards from the beginning. This demonstrated that the rats had learned the maze layout during the initial exploration phase, even without any immediate reinforcements. The learning was latent until the reward provided an incentive to demonstrate it. Yan ang aking balitang hatid. Back to you, JB.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Mr. Armando. At para sa pagpapatuloy sa key concept ni Tulman, atin naman pakinggan si Mr. Bakuli. Mr. Bakuli, magandang umaga.
At good morning din, JB. Para sa pagpapatuloy ng key concept ni Tulman, narito pa ang iba pang mga impormasyon about sa key concept ni Tulman. Intervening variables are the factors that are not directly observable but influence the relationship between other variables. Intervening variables are hidden or observable factors that mediate the relationship between an independent variables and an independent variables. For example, in Tolman's experiment, hunger was an intervening variable affecting the relationship between a cue signaling food and the rat's running behavior. A hunger rat will respond more strongly to cue than a non-hunger rats. Reward expectancy refers to the anticipation of a reward as consequences of one action or performance. The text describes this as learning to expect something in return for all effort. It also notes that a discrepancy between accepted and received rewards can lead to frustration and behavioral disruption. Finally, it introduced the principle of less effort, suggesting that we tend to choose the most efficiency path to achieve a goal, likely influenced by the expected rewards. For example, imagine a student studying for an exam. They expect a good grades as a result of their hard work. If they study diligently and receive the expected good grades, their reward expectancy is confirmed, reinforcing their study habits. However, if they study hard but get a poor grade, this contradicts their reward expectancy, leading to frustration and potentially affecting their future study habits. They might even choose a less demanding course next time, illustrating the principle of less effort if they believe the effort-reward ratio is unfavorable. The text contrasts place learning with response learning. Response learning, as suggested by SR theorists, focuses on the learning specific response to specific stimuli. Place learning, in contrast, emphasizing learning the spatial layout of an environment and using this knowledge to navigate. It's about understanding the overall picture and adapting movement as needed. For example, a rat navigating a maze demonstrates place learning by understanding the maze, spatial layout, and adapting its movement accordingly, even if the maze is rearranged. In contrast, response learning will involve the rats memorizing a specific sequence of turn, which would fail in the maze was changed. At yan ang aking balitang hatid patungkol sa K-concept ni Tulman. At ako si Bakuli Jemel. Back to you, JB.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Mr. Bakuli. At para naman sa pagpapaliwanag sa ginawang experiment ni Tulman, ating pakinggan si Miss Jaylin Idanyo.
Magandang araw rin sa iyo, JB. Ngayon ay tatalakayin natin ang vicarious trial and error. Cognitive interpretation by the individual, wherein the process of vicarious trial and error involves a cognitive mental process wherein individuals evaluate different options. So in other words, it's not simply a matter of random trial and error. In Tolman's experiment, rats used to stop at the choice point and look at the alternative path. Edward Tolman's experiment on rats navigating mazes, and the rats didn't just randomly try different paths. They paused at the decision point or the choice points to observe the available routes before choosing path. The maze network of path with a start point and a food goal or the food box. The arrows in the maze likely represent the paths of rats took during the experiment. The diagrams illustrate the complexity of the choices the rats face. It demonstrates the rats don't simply learn through trial and error, but also use cognitive process to plan their routes through mazes. In Tolman maze experiment, Tolman selected 3 groups of rats. A rewarded group. Tolman divided his rats into 3 distinct groups. For comparison, Group A served as a control group or the receiving consistent rewards. Group B, or the delayed reward group, The group received a reward or the food only after a delay. After 10 days of navigating the maze without reward, this group was designated to test if learning occurred even without immediate reinforcement. Group 3, or the no reward group, served a negative control to access a baseline performance and the impact of reward learning. They were kept into the maze by one for 17 days. They were individually exposed to the maze to have a sufficient time to observe learning patterns. The food was placed at the exit door for the Group A rats. They found food for the maze exit, providing immediate reinforcement for successful navigation. After an initial 10 days period without reward, Group B received food of the exit. They tested the persistence of learning in absence of immediate reinforcement. Next, the Group C served as a control, never receiving any reward to highlight the importance of reinforcement and learning. During the first 10 days, Group A, or the consistent reward, learned the maze more quickly than the Group B and the Group C, demonstrating the effect of the immediate reinforcement on learning speed. But after 10 days, when the food was placed for Group B, they came earlier even than Group A, suggesting that learning had occurred during the initial 10 days without reward. The learned maze layout, but this learning became apparent when a reward is introduced. The diagram depicts a simple maze with two blocks, A and B, a starting point, and a reward chest at the end in the block B. There are three possible paths, wherein the path 1, path 2, and the path 3. The rats or the subject could take. It shows possible routes through the maze. This experiment aimed to study the impact of different reinforcement schedules, immediate, delayed, and no reward on maze learning behavior. The results would likely compare the learning speed and efficiency of the three groups. Yan ang aking balitang hatid. Ako si Jeline T. Danyo. Back to you, JD.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Miss Jaylin. Ngayon naman, ating pakinggan si Miss Krisha Caballero para ibahagi sa atin ang mga importanteng impormasyon na dapat nating tandaan sa theory ni Toulmin, which is the purposive behaviorism theory.
Magandang araw sa iyo, JB. Ngayon ay pag-uusapan natin ang huling paksa ng Purposive Behaviorism Theory by Toulmin. So Toulmin concluded that reinforcement was not essential for learning, although it provides an incentive for learning. In his study, he also observed that a rat was able to acquire knowledge through the way by developing a cognitive map even in the absence. Toulmin also believed that individuals can do more than the merely response to the stimuli. So what are we missing? So when we say reinforcement, it is unnecessarily learning to occur. And when we say cognitive map, it is an internal representation of environmental features or landmarks. So what's Toulmin's felt about the theory? So Toulmin also felt that behaviorism is mainly cognitive, and he coined the term cognitive map. Ito po ang aking balitang hatid. Ako si Krisha Caballero, ang iyong tagapagbalita. Back to you, JB.
Maraming salamat, Miss Krisha Caballero. At yan po ang mga balita sa araw na ito. Ako si JB Aropo, ang inyong tagapaghatid ng balita. Maraming salamat at magandang araw.